what got you excited about the program, why you decided to join?
So, ever since I was little, my mom has always instilled in me the ethic of hard work and that knowledge is power. In high school, my grandfather told her she was too stupid to go to college, so she never even bothered applying. So that's something I carry with me very deeply to this day. And so before Europe, I was working as a massage therapist, and it wasn't enough money to supplement my lifestyle as far as just living in the Bay Area. For anyone, it's really difficult, especially for myself, being the oldest of 5 siblings. I knew that my parents couldn't financially support me when I moved here. I'm actually from Southern California. I moved here as soon as I graduated high school. And so supplementing my lifestyle as a massage therapist, I also worked 2 retail jobs, and I also drove Lyft whenever I could. So basically, working as far as I can to make my dream come true, just like wanting to be here, making my lifestyle happen. And when I found out about Europe, I got really excited because it was my second chance at a professional life. The college track wasn't quite for me, but I feel like everyone has their own path in life, and just because one path is different doesn't mean it's any better or worse. So I'm truly grateful to be here, and I love being here every day.
Yeah. How's it been going for you so far? You're almost 14 weeks in.
It's been going very well. My classmates very much appreciate my input, and I appreciate the things I can learn from my classmates. Just being able to come from so many different walks of life and still have that same underlying understanding of what struggle is like, and what we could bring to the table. It makes me excited to be here every day. Makes the time fly by. It feels like I'm only here 5 minutes every day. And so I feel like with those 2 things combining together, it really shows that I am where I belong.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then, so why do you want to work in tech specifically?
I want to work in tech because growing up, I had my dad my stepdad rather, he constantly was surrounded by technology. He actually built all of my siblings' computers as well as my own, and he set up our own home network. And so I tried learning from him, and as a person who didn't understand the technological terms, like all the shorthanded answers, the acronyms, I couldn't really understand what he was saying. So that incorporated also with my video game lifestyle. Video games was a very big part of my childhood, and just having those 2 things be a constant part of my life, because having very different changes in my life, no matter where I went, no matter what I did, tech was always there. Video games were always there. So as far as the tech industry goes, I hope to develop the skills to become a project manager that I could carry with me to the gaming industry specifically. So learning the hard skills as much as I can at internship, learning as much as I can to become a professional in the project management field, and then hopefully landing in a position at either Blizzard or Riot, which are 2 of my favorite video game companies.
Blizzard, yeah.
So I'm wondering, what was your biggest challenge or growth area so far in L&D, and what are some strategies that you utilize to overcome?
My biggest challenge was self-care. I had a hard time making sure that I let my body had ample rest. I tend to push myself very hard as far as work goes, as I explained earlier with my mom's hard work ethic, specifically with sleep. So I tend to work as much as I can really late. So after doing my deliverables here at Europe, I get off and go home, shower, eat. Then I'm out driving Lyft to supplement my car bill and my car insurance and my food for the month. So I'm constantly working, and sleep was a very hard thing to tackle early on in the program, just because with anyone having to wake up at a different time is a very big change. But I've been adjusting. I'm actually at a stable point now. So basically, I am making sure I do my work at school, and I am now caught up to a point where I have enough savings to do very little Lyft driving, so I could get to bed earlier.
Great. That's really helpful, and you kind of spoke to it. So thinking as you transition into internship, what are specific strategies, on top of the ones that you've already explained, that you're going to really utilize to ensure self-care for yourself?
It's all about setting aside time. People always can come up with excuses, but really it takes action to set up time for yourself. There's always time in the world. always, set it here or there, and an hour is not too much. So I am a very big fan of running and keeping fit. I was in 4 years of varsity track and cross country in high school. So running is a very big part of my lifestyle. So just spending either 30 minutes to an hour every couple days just going out for a jog. I also have a gym membership, and I also just try to keep myself fit that way. And I love going out on hikes. Back in high school, I was a part of a club called WAC, Wilderness Adventures Club. And to where it taught us through community service, such as recycling and local gardening, that we could earn the opportunity to go on camping trips. So I have a very close environmental tie. I love nature, love being out in nature. It's a great way to step away and kind of refocus yourself, because if you're putting on the blinders on for too long, you could lose track of possible opportunities. You could have to develop a very narrow mindset, and I feel like nature is the best way to break that down.
So you mentioned earlier project management, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Was that something that you were familiar with before you came to Europe?
I was familiar with it a little bit in the sense that I worked 5 years in retail,
Okay.
and there were corporate visits where project managers had to come and see the store and like refit the store if it needed to be updated as far as the visual merchandising. So I was familiar with the field, but I didn't quite know that it could be applicable to many fields, that including tech.
Yeah.
And so just learning about the agile methodology and how familiar that is to me, like sprints, that just comes second nature to me because I'm very goal oriented. So when I have a goal in front of me, I'm just very much more productive. And I work really well in teams. When you're the oldest of 5, you have to mediate a lot of fights. So yeah, and my cross-country teammates look up to me. My advisees or my colleagues in training look to me as much as I look to them. And I feel like it's all about being cohesive and understanding what each people need, and just getting back to the basic underlying of always helping people.
Yeah.
And that's why I see my fit with project management is that it's not just about you, it's about helping out everyone on the team and making sure everyone has what they need in order to get the project done and completed.
You answered my follow-up question, which is why would you be a strong candidate to be a project manager, but you did a really great job explaining that.
So assume you work at a tech company and your manager asks that you complete a high-profile project. You have no idea where to start, and you are not trained on the project or material that needs to be used. What would you do?
Well, I would do what we do here in Europe. I would start with the escalation protocol, doing my own research, and then also seeing if there's any manuals or past projects that were very similar to it, and try to framework the project there. If not, then I'll rely to my colleagues, asking if anyone has ever worked on a project like this, asking for their input as far as what I could do. Then talking to my manager, seeing if there's a different department or if there's other people that I could connect with that would help with, and just, as you can see, where it's going, like step by step from there. And if all else fails, if all technology shuts down and I have no available resources to me whatsoever, I would communicate with my manager and everyone else who I'm presenting to for the project, saying, I will attempt my best. Unfortunately, I don't have the resources available to me. I hope that I could achieve what you're looking for, but just understand where I'm coming from. Because communication is key in those sort of situations. It's better to give them a framework of mind beforehand rather than having them expect like what they wanted and then having me deliver something incomplete. So it's all about being accountable as well.
So you talked about project coordination, project management as your desired track. With that, there's a lot of things that you're going to have to be juggling at the same time. So I would love for you to describe a system in which you stay organized and how you can apply that to the PM and PC track.
The way I stay organized is by date. I try to organize what I say, okay, take a step back, what needs to get done today, and then like timeline it into tasks that are of immediate, needs, and tasks that can be done later. So for example, the website that we're constructing, the styling or the content I could always take care of later because I have my cover letter and my resume, and I have someone else writing my letter of recommendation. So all the content is provided. So that I could set aside for later. The styling of the web page, as well as any jQuery or JavaScripts that I want to incorporate to bring it a little bit more interactive feel for the website. I'm not as experienced in that, so I feel that I should address that firsthand, just to kind of design the web page in the way that I want it to. Because with HTML, it's content for the page. The content can be shifted according to the CSS and the jQuery. All you need to do is just plug it in. So.
Awesome. Damien, we are going to move on to your task-based question. And yeah, because we got till 1:55. Yeah, we're going to move on to the task-based question.
I'm gonna stop
And if
this
we've got
then.
time afterwards,